March, Bahamas, Cozumel on the Disney Dream. Typically, March is a wonderful time to cruise that part of the world. But what about this year? Is the weather pattern setting up to give us a chance of rain? Let's check it out. And welcome into What's the Weather? I'm Brett.
I'm Sherry.
This channel, of course, we do the forecast and answer the question.
What's the weather?
Because you're going on vacation and a lot of folks want to know what's the weather, where I'm going. For instance, my sister-in-law, your sister, going to Reykjavik, Iceland in July.
Yes.
And so we're going to answer that question for them with a long-range forecast. But a lot of it's based on climatology. It's always cool in July in Iceland.
I know. I can't wait to hear how that goes for her.
Yeah, I want to see them take that big bath, the sauna bath. And it's really cool outside.
Out in the hot springs.
All right, so this forecast centers on the Disney Dream, and it's in the month of March, leaving out of Fort Lauderdale, headed to Cozumel and the Bahamas. What's your favorite part of Cozumel?
Oh, I don't know. I love that catamaran trip we took, that snorkeling.
That's fantastic.
That was one of my favorite.
Yeah, that needs to be repeated someday. Yeah. So here's how it's going to lay out. We will do the forecast for the first cruise that leaves March 1st and gets back the 6th. Then Sherry's got a suggestion, and then we'll do the second half of the month. That forecast there you'll want to pay attention to and stay tuned for, because there are some rain chances second half of the month of March for that 15th to 20th cruise. Why, everyone, and let's answer that question. What's the weather in March in the Bahamas? Of course, we're looking at two different cruises on the Disney Dream. The first one leaves out at the beginning of the month, the second one in the middle of the month. Here's the great news about March in the Bahamas and down at Cozumel. It is the start of the warm season, and the water temperatures are comfortable, typically in the low to mid 70s through that time of the year. In the Bahamas, we can almost see average daily rains. Cozumel is one of the driest parts of the year in March, so it looks like much better weather in that part of the world. And how do we get that forecast for March, that long-range forecast with accuracy? Well, we look at the long-range recurring weather pattern cycle, or the LRC, otherwise sometimes known as the LISAC recurring cycle weather pattern theory. And what that does is it looks at weather patterns that began to set up in October and in November, and then they begin to repeat or cycle. So for this forecast, we are looking at the month of December. A portion of the month of December, middle part of the month to the end of the month, will repeat once we get into March. So we know at the middle part of December, we had some chilly air move into the parts of the United States, even into the southeastern part of the United States. But overall, very few rain chances for that first half of the month. However, second half of the month, there was a more pronounced storm in the end of December that swept through the United States and went all the way through the Gulf of Mexico, all the way down through Florida, into the Bahamas, and into parts of the Yucatan Peninsula. So that part of the weather pattern repeats in March, and because of that, we have a better chance of rain on that second cruise that leaves out on the 15th and comes back later in the month. All right, so let's talk specifics on this forecast then. Disney Dream, 1st through the 6th, we're looking at a great sail away day, nice day at sea. In fact, the best chance of rain on that whole cruise is going to be that second day at sea when you're coming back from Cozumel headed toward the private island. Let's break it down day by day here. Sail away party, Fort Lauderdale, March 1st, 80 degrees, lots of sunshine. Day at sea, can't rule out a passing shower. Remember, we have some fast-moving cold fronts that are moving through that part of the world, so that we can't rule out a brief shower, but likely it is going to be a dry day for Marvel Day at sea. Now you get down to Cozumel. I'm looking at fantastic weather in Cozumel, but don't forget the sunscreen. Even in March, that sun can be powerful and you can get a sunburn. We'll have a light breeze, temperatures in the upper 70s. Your best chance of rain for the entire cruise will come for that second day at sea, March 4th. You've got a bouncy day, some waves, some chop, but best chance of rain during the cruise will be on Tuesday. And that's not a bad thing, because when you get to Castaway Cay on Wednesday, March 5th, sunshine. Again, it's the windiest time of the year in the Bahamas, and so a south wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour should be no surprise. It may gust up to 20 miles an hour, but overall that is fantastic. Then you're sailing back, you're disembarking in Fort Lauderdale on Thursday, March 6th, and it looks fantastic. North wind at 10 miles an hour, temperatures in the 70s as you get off the Disney Dream. Let's talk. All right, so it looks like great sail away weather for both cruises, but you can't get into your room right away.
Right.
So what do you do?
Well, you have a lot of options. When you first board, a lot of people like to walk around, especially the atriums, because they're so beautiful. Take some pictures, kind of get the lay of that deck. And then the second thing most people do is they go eat. And typically everybody goes up to the buffet because that's kind of where you just kind of gravitate towards. But we found on our last Disney cruise that there's a dining room open. And so we asked which dining room was open, and they directed us to, we were on the Magic, and so it was
Rapunzel's table.
Rapunzel's table. And it was fabulous. The food was incredible. The service, it was just so nice. And you kind of got the lay of the land of how the restaurant was laid out, and kind of see the staff, and it was just so relaxing. On cruises we've had before, where we've gone up to the Lido deck and we've had the buffet, it's kind of crazy because everybody's kind of like walking around. Nobody's really sure what's going on, and it's a little chaotic. And I don't know that I really like that for the start of my cruise. I really much preferred the laid back, chill.
You like the controlled environment.
I like the controlled
and
environment.
See, I'm an explorer. I would want to walk the entire ship and see what's going on. You can ask her about sometime a trip that we took to the Bahamas several years ago, where I was like, where does this street go? Yeah. And I don't recommend that. But we did. So I'm sort of the explorer. Yes. You kind of like to take the very controlled, constructed approach. And that's okay.
I like to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it was lovely, though. We had a nice lunch, and then we got done right just about as they were opening up the rooms. So it was fabulous. We got to drop off our backpacks, and then we went out and we explored. And we had, I would still say, plenty of time between that and the sail away party.
Can you take your swimsuit though? I mean, you could, right?
Yes, and one of the biggest tips I see on all the websites is that if you have littles and you want to enjoy the pools and the slides, that's the perfect time to do it, because there aren't a lot of people that are doing that. So they have changing stations, usually bathrooms outside the pool area that you can go and change into. So if you're going to do that, just throw the backpack, the swimsuits in the backpack, and then you can change. And just kind of enjoy some less crowded pool time. So that's one of, I think, the downside of cruises. The pools are so small, and so they get filled very, very quickly. So if you do it early on, you might have better luck.
Well, here's the good news. The sail away day for March 15th looks fantastic.
Yay!
What about the rest of the cruise? Here's the forecast. Dream. Let's talk about the second cruise, March 15th through the 20th. It does look like there is a better chance of rain on this cruise. Saturday for that sail away, you've got temperatures in the lower 80s. You got a good day at sea. Cozumel, now you have a chance of rain. We'll go more in depth into that coming up. Then Castaway Cay still looks good, little cool. And disembarking out of Fort Lauderdale, wrapping up that cruise on the 20th, there is a really good chance of rain. All right, breaking that down day by day, sail away party, Fort Lauderdale, 81, mostly sunny. Your cruise is getting off to a fantastic start with an east wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour. All right, second day at sea. Looks like it's going to be a fantastic day. Can't rule out a shower as you sail through the Florida Straits, but overall it'll likely be dry. Now, when you get to Cozumel, unfortunately, remember, the end of December, we had a fairly significant storm move through the southeastern part of the United States, through the Gulf of Mexico, and it made it all the way down to the Yucatan Peninsula. So Monday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, scattered showers and thunderstorms on that day in Cozumel, 81, breezy, and mostly cloudy skies. Not the greatest day for beach and maybe for some excursions, so make sure you check ahead and make sure those excursions are still going on as planned. Leaving out of Cozumel, headed back toward Castaway Cay, sailing through the Florida Straits once again. You're going to be sailing in and out of clouds and maybe some sunshine, maybe a shower on Tuesday, March 18th, but when you get to Castaway Cay, it should be fantastic. Yeah, we have an east-northeast wind, a little on the breezy side, a little cooler, temperatures in the mid-70s, but again, remember the water temperature about the same, so that ought to feel nice for all of those activities. Now, heading back into Fort Lauderdale, keep the rain jacket out. It looks like another front is pushing into South Florida at that time. We've got rain likely in Fort Lauderdale as you disembark on Thursday, March 20th, with temperatures in the lower 80s. Hope you have a great cruise. Hope this forecast works out for you. If you like the forecast, you can share this forecast. You can also subscribe to our forecast and this channel for more forecasts for upcoming cruises on any cruise ship. If you have a request for a cruise on any cruise ship, just put it in the comments and we'll try to get that forecast done for you. I do think it's raining when everyone gets back to Lauderdale.
Oh, that's never fun. Just make sure if you pack your bags and set them out the night before, just keep a rain jacket handy.
That's another Sherry suggestion. Yeah. It's a bonus. Hey, I want to give a big thank you to Rick, who added a comment and wanted a forecast for the Western Caribbean in January. We did that forecast for him. They went all the way down to Roatan. Now, our forecast wasn't perfect, but he said it worked out.
Good.
Rained in the morning. It was cloudy in the afternoon. I thought it would be a little sunny, but other than that, he did say the forecast was spot on.
Yay! That's what we're trying to do.
So thank you, Rick, for that. And if you have a question about a cruise, an itinerary, somewhere that you want to go, what do you need to do, Sherry?
You just need to put it in the comments, and then we just ask that you would like and share and, comment.
And if you want more forecasts for vacations, you can subscribe to this channel. We'll do forecasts coming up for, of course, we have another video where we do the forecast for Orlando and for Las Vegas, Disneyland.
If you're spring break, check out our spring break video.
Yeah, that has the forecast.
That has the month long. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's it for this edition of What's the Weather. I'm Brett.
I'm Sherry.
Thanks for watching, and until the next time, have a great vacation.